Sega may have given away their biggest secret yet. For years, fans have begged for Sonic Adventure Remakes, and now, new evidence suggests that Sega has actually been planning them ever since before Sonic Frontiers even released. And this comes from the same source that correctly leaked Sonic Movie 2, Sonic Prime, Sonic Frontiers, and Sonic X Shadow Generations, and even Sonic Crossworlds, which makes this one of the biggest credible leaks in the Sonic community right now. And in today's video, we're breaking down everything, from the potential 2027 release window of the Sonic Adventure Remakes, to how Takashi, Iizuka, and Sonic Team could be using the Unreal Engine 5 animation technology to rebuild the iconic worlds from Station Square, Mystic Ruins, and more. We'll also look into what this means for Sonic Frontiers 2, Sonic Movie 4, and even who might be voicing Amy Rose next. And also, be sure to subscribe and like, but that's only if you like me as a person. If you don't like me, then you don't have to subscribe or like, but either way, you're still awesome. So no more bluffing, we're gonna go straight into this. So, in the previous video, we went over this tweet by SG, so scrolling through the old Sonic related leaks, and I found this 5-year leak plan again, and this leak was released around 4 years ago, and pretty much everything has been correct thus far, except for the 2024 Paris game, which was obviously the Olympics game, which obviously I won't go too into because it's not really that related to this video, but I found someone who holds high position in the company that's looking to potentially collaborate with Sega and Sonic related projects. I don't know what exactly this project is, but apparently Sega has a 5-year plan for the Sonic series, and they've been detailing this plan behind the scenes to potential collaborators and top investors. And this is a goal as a 5-year plan to outline the current cement of the AAA Sonic franchise in the gaming industry. The basic outline was that there was a release of the second Sonic movie, the release of Sonic Prime on Netflix, and the release of the Sonic Frontiers game in 2022. 2023, they actually predicted the release of a new 2D game, which was obviously by B-Team Sonic Superstars, the release of the Sonic live-action series, which was the Knuckles series, the Final Horizon DLC for Sonic Frontiers, the renewal of Sonic Prime for the second season, and obviously the Olympic Games, which obviously was cancelled, so obviously that was still confirmed, so they knew that come from an insider source. 2024 was the release of Shadow Generations, the new traditional 3D Sonic game, and also the release of a third Sonic movie, as well as the spin-off. And then 2025 to 2026 would have been the spin-off for Sonic Crossworlds, which I'm guessing was already made in January, considering that they planned that for 2024 as well, which also kind of suggests the idea that they've been hyper-focused on Sonic Frontiers 2, and because Sonic Team has an increased budget, and also a massive increase in the scale of people working at Sonic Team, we're going to be seeing a much more expansive, open, and vibrant worlds, especially with the utilization of Unreal Engine 5, and I know some people have some controversy about that, but I do believe this is the next ushering era for Sonic. Now here's where things get interesting, as in 2025 to 2026, the Sonic 35th anniversary celebration was supposed to focus on the Sonic Adventure Remakes. Now, if this was deemed to be true, that would be really weird. Now, obviously I know that Iizuka has already stated that he does not want to focus on the Adventure Remakes as of recent. That's as of recent. So I believe that they're trying to test the waters to see how well they can do with Frontiers 2, and then I believe that in 2027, or maybe even early 2028, we could be seeing the Sonic Adventure Remakes finally showcased, or potentially even shown off using the Unreal Engine 5, and that's another reason why I believe that they might be shifting to Unreal Engine 5, not only because it's easier to develop on, but also because they'll have a higher likelihood to be able to develop the Adventure Remakes, and obviously as you've seen from loads of mods, they have actually utilized very similar engines, so it's a lot more easier to work through the old game system files. And also the potential of Sonic Adventure 3 was pitched, but I don't think that that was a cemented idea. Here are some of the facts too. They were aware that Sega expects Sonic Frontiers to do extremely well. Obviously it's an anniversary of the game, so say had a happy anniversary to Sonic Frontiers. They are well aware that Sonic Forces was bad, but they consider it to be a success because it sold well. They knew the game was going to be bad as it was quickly put together to recover from the losses of Sonic Boom, which also there's more proof in that because they didn't really show much of the 2D gameplay. They were showing mostly of like the really short 3D sections to try and make the game look good in the trailers, which was obvious. And also there was no intention of the game actually being good, and it worked. Sega expects Frontiers to be the best-selling and highest-rated Sonic game in a long time, so they were kind of right with that. Like, Frontiers did some decent reviews, like it wasn't amazing, but it was actually pretty good, like 7s and 8s, so yeah. And also they were also reluctant to agree that they believe it will interfere with the Adventure Remakes project, and the third movie will have a very similar storyline to SA2, and expect the Adventure Remakes to be pushed back if Paramount somehow convinces Sega to go through with it. Now the reason I wanted to talk about this was because, so we know that Sonic Frontiers 2 is coming around late 2026 or even early 2027, or maybe even late 2027 at the worst case scenario, and I do understand that some people actually do like the fact that GTA 6 is coming around November 2026, so then maybe they might push back Frontiers 2 to around 2027, so then maybe Sonic Team might have a bit more time to polish. But I've actually got a direct criticism to this. So we know Sonic Team have a bigger budget, they've got a much larger team, and they have much more professional individuals working at the company now. And not just that, but also the fact that they've been silently working on, you know, obviously the side games like Shadow Generations and Sonic Crossworlds. They haven't been the main points at Sega. That's the thing that people don't understand. Sonic Frontiers 2 has been worked on since March of 2023, because I do remember seeing a post around then that they were working on storyboarding, and this is very common for a lot of game studios and even movie companies. Like, the second that they made Sonic 2, they were already working on the storyboard for Sonic 3. So games work like that, guys. They will start the pitching, and then depending on the power of the team, they will start instantly working on the game. And it's been a feasibly long enough time for them to actually release Frontiers 2 next year, like 4 years. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And also because Sega has been on a roll recently, they have never missed a game slot when it comes to releasing a game yearly. I do believe that the influence of Unreal Engine 5 would make a lot of sense towards the implementation of making the Adventure remakes, because yes, obviously Sonic Generations, all the other remasters that they made like Colors and Generations are very easy to remake because they're not necessarily like old games, but like with Adventure, they have to completely build it from the ground up, because I feel like they want to make it like to modern standards because they are incredible games. I feel like Iizuka sees Crash Bandicoot and he's like, okay, we need to make it similar to that quality. So that's one of the reasons I think they've switched engines, and also because of the whole lighting, which I want to get into. But I'll give you my general pitch. They're going to release Frontiers 2 in November 2026, and then during 2027, when they don't have much to release, I feel as if they're going to do the Sonic Adventure remakes in 2027, or maybe even 2028. There's maybe somewhere around that. I feel like it's going to be like a November 2027, because remember, that is quite a while away, so it's not something that is impossible. And also, the Sonic Adventure games aren't massive, and they aren't necessarily difficult to produce, like obviously compared to like Sonic Frontiers 2, which is going to be a huge open world game. Because I think Iizuka is signaling, okay, we're going to go off the remakes for a bit, Sonic Frontiers 2 is going to have its time to shine, and then we're going to go back to making the Adventure remakes because people just want it. And we know how much Sega are listening recently, especially because of the Final Horizon, and also just how Iizuka has been at many types of events and has listened to people speak about the Adventure remakes. If we were looking strictly at the Unreal Engine 5 lighting, I feel like this is one of the main reasons as to why they would use it, because I actually really do like this lighting. Let me know what you guys think of this animation. This is by Noob, by the way. And this is obviously proof that they're utilizing Unreal Engine 5, as Iizuka confirms that they're going to be having a new experience. So they're prioritizing innovation over remakes like Sonic Adventure. Now, I think that they are utilizing this new engine. They want to get comfortable with it and being able to utilize it in a way that is revolutionary. And then once they're comfortable with utilizing that engine with softening out all the bugs, that's when the green light for Adventure remakes will go. Because I feel like ever since Sonic Forces released, they've been very scared to tarnish the reputation of the Sonic Adventure games, but ever since Shadow Generations came out, I feel like that's going to become less of a possibility, because obviously Shadow Generations arguably was better than Sonic Generations. If you want to know my opinion on that, I think they're just as good as each other. And also just been a lot of media covering the Sonic Adventure remakes. Obviously we've got how much would you trust current Sonic team? I think I do trust them a lot. And also Sonic and All Characters said that NVIDIA presents Sonic Adventure Remixed, a remaster with path tracing and updated visuals. Yeah, I mean, this would be a really cool pitch for the Sonic Adventure remakes. I want to know what you guys think of Sonic's model, the reflective lighting, the shaders, how Sonic's like actual blue pops against the whale, and just like how all of the textures look very detailed. I feel like if they were to make the Adventure remakes, they would completely rebuild every aspect of the world, kind of like how they would rebuild older levels, like for example Kingdom Valley from Shadow Generations, or Sunset Heights from Sonic Forces in Shadow Generations. And if we were to even see this squash and stretch kind of animation, as obviously this is the Vega scene from Sonic Adventure 2, that would be a very cool pitch. And the Sonic Stadium has already expressed that Iizuka is really interested in remaking Sonic Adventure, so this isn't something that he's denied in the past. And something a lot of fans haven't realized from Sonic and All Characters, that Sonic Heroes might be getting an Unreal Engine 5 remake, but I think otherwise. If this was even deemed to be true from the get-go, I think that they're going to be utilizing Unreal Engine 5 to make the Adventure remakes, because obviously it's a much more higher demanded game compared to Heroes. Now, I don't think it's coming out next year. No, 100% not. Adventure remakes are not coming out next year. year, but they might be coming out in 2027. And then this is obviously confirmation, we won't be getting a Sonic Adventure remake anytime soon. But I implore you guys to stay now, because this is really awesome information about Sonic Movie 4. We've got some really awesome pictures. So in this section, we've got so much brand new information about Sonic 4. This is awesome. So first off, Sonic 4 will have an even bigger budget than the previous movies. CGI will look twice as insane as it did in Sonic 3. The movies keep getting better, so this is by Daniel RPK. And another thing about this, it means that obviously we're going to get Metal Overlord, which I do believe to be true. They're going to be using much more cinematic scenes. So I do think, because obviously cinematic, think of Godzilla, we could be getting Metal Overlord, and that is absolutely amazing. And here is Paramount yet again showcasing how we're reversing the roles from Sonic CD now over to Sonic Movie 4. And I want you guys to truly imagine this, seeing this in the theaters, of Metal Sonic facing off in Metal Overlord form against Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. That would be amazing. And also we know that Sonic 4 will explore a darker future, so time travel is pretty much confirmed. So obviously we're going to have games mixed in together, so the Sonic CD narrative, but also mixed with the Sonic Heroes story. But also the fact that they've acknowledged Silver the Hedgehog and a bad future, for him as a post-credits for Sonic 5 wouldn't be out of the possibility, considering that they're focusing on time travel, and imagine seeing something like this to an extent would be really awesome for Sonic 5. Now I'm not inherently suggesting Blaze, but it could be something similar to Silver, which would be really awesome. And this is by LIXES. And we have a 90% confirmation that Sonic 4 will explore parts of Sonic's world, as obviously there's a quote, "We almost put a sequence like that into Sonic 2, but ended up not having the space for it, but we definitely know that there are other worlds and more fantastical zones, and we'd love to see it, so assume that the audience would love to see that." And that was by Pat Casey and Josh Miller. But now I want to hop back into Frontiers 2 just to round this all off. Obviously we know that we're getting closer to the next mainline game, and whether we see Frontiers 2 at the Game Awards, it's a high likely possibility, and also whether it comes out in 2026 or 2027, we will see that game definitely in 2026, because obviously then it's going to become 5 years, and yeah, I do think we're going to be seeing that in 2026, so get excited. And also someone gave a pitch for Frontiers 2, a real open world of side quests and a lot of unique locations, ditching the regular boost, it will never fit the open world, actual platforming instead of automated slop, and lots of NPCs. I actually agree with all of this. And yes guys, the Game Awards is happening very soon on the 11th of December, so we know that Frontiers or Sega will make an appearance in Sonic form. Also, Anna Kendrick is a massive pitch for Amy Rose, so let me know what you think of that, and the potential voice actors for Amy Rose in Sonic the Hedgehog 4. And another pitch for Frontiers 2 is better platforming, a better combat system, obviously I would say more of an extended combat system, with more ways of enemies fighting back against Sonic's attacks. No boost, it won't work with the open space. I do think that we could have like a surge ability like from the Summit Spire leak, and also things that take actual effort to do in the open zone, unlike baby puzzles in Frontiers. Due to the team being double the size, and you know how a hard Sonic team works, I don't think they're gonna delay it, but hey, it's Sonic Team. Make sure you guys discuss that in the comments. In regards to Adventure Remakes, on my previous video, we actually had a couple of people discussing exactly how they could pull this off, and Hedgie said, I hope the reason that why they talked about not doing Adventure Remakes, turns out that the plan was to publish a remake of SA2 that's already in production by some fans, so kind of like Sonic Mania with headcanon, and when it's complete, they could split the 50-50 profit for the sales, and obviously, because those public people are using Unreal Engine 5, having it look like a remaster that hasn't lost the charm of the original version, the downloadable demo version of it easily shows that they might have seen the version and thought that it would be a better idea to let those people do the development so that they can later on publish a version that they wouldn't have messed up while letting Sonic Team have the time to work on new games. I think that's a really cool pitch. I actually do think that to be likely because Sonic Team have just been giving us like so many hype moments like Metal Overlord and Mephiles coming back in Shadow Generations that genuinely I was like, no, this is not real. Like Sega and Sonic Team know exactly what us fans want, so this isn't out of the picture. And also CJ said, am I the only one that keeps thinking that they've been secretly having an 06 style game or a remake? And then last year, the director of Sonic 06, Nakamura, mentioned that he's been looking for an opportunity to remake Sonic 06, so I think that's possible. Now that's a far less likely thing to happen, but the adventure statement previously by Hedgie, I think that's very possible, especially from the 5-year plan that was showcased right at the start of the video. Now I want to get into two really massive parts of Sonic Movie 4 news that actually seem really likely, and I was theorizing over this before making this video. Iblis might actually be in the Sonic movies already, as at some point prior to the Master Emerald incident in the Sonic movie universe, Iblis might have been located and confronted by Knuckles, who wished to harness the demon's flames of disaster to avenge his late father. And despite Knuckles' endurance, Iblis handily defeated the Echidna with a magical fireball attacks and began to mock him for his weakness before attempting to finish him off with a bolt of lightning. However, in his turmoil, Knuckles learned that his true power came as a warrior and the power from within, and through that revelation, he was able to steal the flames of disaster and beat Iblis and defeat the creature with his own power. and maybe that hidden power was unlocked, as Knuckles claims the flames of disaster obviously shown in the Knuckles show in the title episode and how his hands go on fire. Now, this could be far-fetched, but I do think that that has a little bit of something to it, because that will be a really nice way for them to add Iblis into the Sonic movies. Now, my second theory is how Eggman actually might have survived the Eclipse Cannon explosion, and how exactly he'll return in Sonic Movie 4. So Gerald said that the Shadow was infusing the core with Chaos Energy. And what else can you do with the Chaos Energy? Chaos Control, which actually wasn't showcased in the movie and obviously is part of the SA2. But when the Eclipse Cannon overloaded, the core probably released a lot of Chaos Energy, and Shadow was in his super form without his limiter rings and using his full power, so we know Shadow is going to go overkill. Using his full power probably activated Chaos Control, and obviously we know that they can't kill off Eggman. Chaos Control might have blown through time when it exploded, and he could have ended up in a future where Sonic and his friends are no longer alive, allowing him to conquer the entire planet, undeterred by building an army of Metal Sonics with some of the Eclipse Cannon parts that probably warp through time and him too. So that could be a really cool theory, and especially explains why Eggman with that whole concept art of Sonic Movie 3 could actually make a lot of sense. And also ties into how Shadow picked up a ring at the end of the teaser trailer, so maybe they're expressing that Shadow is in a completely different place, like they chaos controlled and he ended up somewhere else. That's a really strong theory. Anyway, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you enjoyed that theory. And I would love if you guys checked out the video on the screen right now. It's basically me spending 1,000 days in Sonic Frontiers, going from day 0 to day 1,000 and explaining my thoughts on exactly everything I went through. So yeah, make sure to go and check that out, and I love all of you. Have an amazing rest of your day.